Hello everybody, we're back to the 353 346 build. I pretty much got everything set up, got the piston on, everything's lined out. I think I'm good to go here. I'm gonna go ahead and put some sealer on the cylinder. I like to use the 11 bond, or no, it's the 3 bond, 1184. I had pretty good luck with that stuff. There's an impulse hole right here. You want to be sure not to plug it. Can be a little bit tricky. I like this 3 bond 1184. It's really good stuff. I use some of this when I put my intake on too. Just to make sure, even though we got that metal clamp on there. Alright, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna call that good. I don't like to gob it on there really. I use as thin as possible myself. Use our little ring compressor deal. Same guy that I'm working on his saw, same guy that owns this saw right here, he's the one who bought me these ring compressors. I always used zip ties. And then I use one of these, and I tell you what, they are worth it. Make things easy. Zip ties work good for like single ring pistons, but the double rings can be a real pain in the butt. Sorry if my head gets in the way. I gotta see what I'm doing here, you know what I mean? Okay, I done put some Loctite down in the threads. And I Loctited the threads on my bolts too. I'm out of blue Loctite, so I'm just, this stuff is high heat Loctite. Bought it from mufflers, really. I gotta work with what I got. Did some grinding on the lower transfers. Did some work on the intake and the exhaust port also. It'll flow a little bit more air. that's what we want. I had this thing fired up here after a while. Let this stuff set up just a touch. But it will get ran today. I'll show some video of that, first cuts with it. If you watched the first video, these head bolts were loose, real bad. We ain't gonna have that. I put Loctite down in the thread hole itself, and I Loctited the bolt itself too. These Huskies, you got to use Loctite on them, especially these high revers. They'll rattle apart on you. I like to get them good and tight too. I ain't afraid to wrench on them a little bit. It's a beautiful day out today. It'd be nice to be doing this outside. It's beautiful out. Okay. I'll start putting our carburetor and all that on there. I forgot to take these limiter caps off. I'm just going to pop them right off. We want a fully adjustable carburetor. That's good enough right there. Got my flathead. I can get my flathead in there now. Okay. There's my intake bolts. I'm going to thread them in there just a little bit. Enough to keep the plastic portion from falling off on me. Now I'll set it right down in there where it's supposed to go. Try to keep my head out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and pop this right back into the rubber holder that holds the intake air filter holder. Pop one side in, pop the other side in. Things should be similar, pretty much lined up to where they need to be. We'll find out. Yep, we're good. Check the squish on this. It's between like 23 thousandths $125 all the way around it. That's pretty darn good. Not even worse. Not even really worth complaining about. Hook the kill switch wire back up. That one goes right there. This one goes down in here in a little spot for your control lever. Just like so. Go ahead and hook our fuel line up. I noticed I got a bare nipple back here. I'm thinking that's for a tank vent. I don't know what else it could be. I'm gonna have to get to that. I'll get to that before it goes back to him. Throttle rod. Blow the crud off of it a little bit. Okay. Another thing too with these Huskies on these saws, on this chassis, they'll tear off. There's supposed to be just a little bit of slot right here, but they will tear off. They'll tear off just to the side sometimes. This one is completely wallered out, but it's not really a huge deal. Okay. Now to get that back in the linkage spot where it's supposed to be, right there, we'll trip that all the way up to where it's in the full throttle position, and this lever just falls right back into place. Little spring steel wire right there. Boom. We're good. Let's see. I bought a new spark plug for it. Bosch. Bosch are made in China. Gap looks a little tight to me. I'm going to spread that open a little bit. Just a touch. Looks good. I did plug the decomp on this too though, because little 50cc saw, you really don't need one. I'm sure you guys know that. I'm not so sure what I did with the darn air filter for this thing. Can't find his old muffler either. I got a mess down here, man. Yeah. Let's see here. I don't need an air filter to start it. I can find that stuff later. It's an absolute mess down here. Stuff solid everywhere. Alrighty. Put the handle back on. Okay, got 3 and 2. The 2 will go on the bottom. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I did reshape the intake, the exhaust, and the lower transfers on that cylinder right there. What the heck I did with his air filter? Can't find his muffler either. It's sitting in a container somewhere, I'll bet you. Might even go ahead and just try to fire this thing up down here, see how it does. I don't run saws down here too awful much. Not for indoors. Okay. This isn't his muffler. We ordered him one. But it's a muffler I done. Ported it like that. I like those gill mods. Huskies are really easy to do them on. I don't do them on too many steels. I got a 261 I'm gonna do that gill mod on though. That's his saw too. I'm pretty sure these are 350, 345 bolts. Seem just a touch long. But I believe they are. Regular 346s are hard to find. It's kind of cool that this one has the magnesium case. Wish I could find one. I was looking at one on eBay, it just sold too. I didn't watch it in time though. Didn't get to it. See how much time I got here? Yeah, I got about 2 minutes. My phone will only let me record so long because it's so full of memory. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and see if we can fire her up. Hold tight. Let me check my carb adjustments here real quick. Sorry about that last video shutting off on you guys too. It's my camera, man. I'm not perfect. Back them out both about 1.5. Okay. Okay, there. That's always a good sign. Oh, she died. Okay, that was good enough. Just need some tuning. That's both 1.5 out. Alright guys, well, my camera is going to shut off here in a little bit, in about 40 seconds. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this video. Hope you all enjoyed it. I'm going to bar this thing up and put it in some wood here in a little bit. Everybody take care.